Hello everyone, welcome to the 140 Q&A practice. We're going to start off with some direct examination by the plaintiff attorney. I do have a word list that I can give you. Here we go, ready? Marcy Kinderman, patrolman, Pennsylvania, stock exchange, muscled, boxing, skydive, leaflets, drawer, transpired, motionless, flicked, partition, army, gestures, Philadelphia, fluttered, tellers. And this is a bank robbery. Here we go. Ready? Did the bank teller, Marcy Kinderman, ever ask you to leave the premises? No. The policeman came inside the bank, and then what happened? Well, about another couple of minutes passed, and then 2-foot patrolmen were walking up the street, and they passed, and they were passing the bank door. They looked in the bank, and they waved, and then they came in the bank. Who waved, the police outside or the policemen inside? The 2 policemen that were walking up the street waved. Did you see anyone inside waving back? No, I was up at the counter, so that makes me about 50 or so feet to the west of them. What next? I waited a couple of minutes or so, and then I walked down past the counter to see, you know. I wanted to see what was going on. Then I stationed myself between the bank door and the door of the teller's door. There's a little bit of separation there. There's distance of maybe about 15 or 20 feet. 15 feet, I would say. Is that bank premises or Pennsylvania Stock Exchange premises? Neither or both. It's actually one whole building. It's all one building. At this time, with your right hand, did you push some leaflets off the counter by accident? I would say no. I just flicked them with my finger on purpose. Did you push them with your finger? Can you describe to me how you did that? As far as I know, I made a motion with my fingers, flicking them, you know, here like this. May the record indicate that the witness has indicated that he flicked them with the back sides of his fingertips. Is that correct? Yes, I will accept that. That is accepted. You made this flicking motion in the direction of Ms. Kinderman across the counter. To the best of your recollection, did your hand extend further towards her direction when you made that gesture? Uh-huh. To the best of your recollection, did any of these leaflets come in contact with her person? Well, they fluttered. I believe that I saw some go as far as her person, 3 or 4 feet across the counter. Is that correct? Yes. Was Ms. Kinderman seated or standing at the time? Standing. What was the level of her head in relationship to the top of that partition? She's a fairly tall woman. I would say that her head probably was over a foot above the top of the partition. You indicated she was tall. Can you give me any estimate as to her height, please? I would say she was 5'7" or more. Are you the same height and weight you were in 2009? I may have been about 10 pounds heavier, but that's just approximate. You appear to be rather well muscled. Do you participate in athletic sports of any kind? Have you ever boxed? I hike and skydive. I competed in boxing in the Army. I believe you indicated that after you had pushed or however you wish to describe it, the leaflets in her direction. You handed her the note ordering her to give you the money in her drawer. She made a motion with her arm, and the two of you remained there for approximately 30 seconds before someone else came over. Is that correct? Yes. During this 1 minute, did you have any conversation with Ms. Kinderman? No. The two of you just stood motionless? Yes. You made no conversation with her at all? Not that I recall. Did you make any other physical gestures towards her of any nature? Not that I recall. At that time, did it appear to you that she was going to continue with any transactions involving your note? Well, I really can't say what it appeared like she was going to do. I was waiting to see what she was going to do. Was there any reason why during that 30 seconds that you could not have gone to another window and selected another teller? Any reason at all? There were no restrictions. She was scared, and so was I. And then at this time, after the 30 seconds or so had elapsed, the bank manager, Mr. Barker, came over. Is that right? Yes. And the proceedings transpired as you have explained to us earlier? Yes. You indicated that approximately 2 or 3 days after this incident took place, that would be about May 4 or May 5, you were arrested at the main branch of Philadelphia Savings and Loan. Is that right? Yes. After this arrest, did you arrange to have your attorney contact the bank and ask them to drop the charges? Yes, I instructed my attorney to do this, to indicate to the bank that you would like to settle this short of any formal legal proceedings. I indicated that I wanted to talk to someone who was in charge of operations of some kind. All right, switching transcripts. Now, this next Q&A that I have is a little on the challenging side, and I want to, let's see here. I just want to encourage you to phrase as much as you can. So I'm going to give you all the phrases that are possible and really try and concentrate on phrasing those because it will help you to stay right with me, okay? So you're going to hear the word subsequent, which you can brief that, S-W-E-N-T, swent. Visual, determining, determine is D-E-R-M, so then you just come back for G. Adjacent, and borings. Okay, so here are the possible phrases. Ready? Did you, when you, would you, for the, of the, that you, and the, to the, that were. Had you ever, you can phrase that whole thing, H-U-F-er. For the, and the, approximately, initial P, final L. There was. How long? H-O-U, final L-G. And a half, that's N-A-F, NAF. It was. Do you have, at any time, which is T-N-T. And let's see, that looks like it's it for the phrases. Okay, here we go. And this is going to be defense questioning. Ready? Now, at some point along the line, was there a soil test made? Yes, borings were made. Did you make an inspection of this property when you first went there? Yes. And would you describe for the court the nature of the inspection that you made on this first occasion? The inspection was a visual inspection in which I noted the cracks and the movements relative to the foundation of the building and the difficulties that were developing with respect to the patio slab. Prior to this date, had you ever inspected other homes for the purpose of determining whether there was any soil movement affecting the home and the foundation upon which it rested? Yes. Approximately how long did you spend there on this first occasion? I presume it was an hour or an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Did you take any measurements on that occasion? Only to note widths of cracks in general and the location. Did you look at the adjacent property and the properties below it and above it and so forth? Yes. Did you make any subsequent inspections of that home after this first occasion? Yes. Do you have an opinion based on your inspection? Yes. Did you examine the foundation plans for this home at any time before you first inspected the house? Yes. So I'm sure you'll see that if you phrase as much as possible, it really helps. Okay, I know I talked for about a minute, giving you guys some phrases and briefs, so I'm going to just go over just a little bit so you have your full 10 minutes of practice. Okay, back to the transcript regarding the doctor giving testimony, the man that saw a devil in the bar. Okay, here we go. So, doctor, you examined him on 2 different occasions. Is that correct? Yes. The last being March 10 and first being January 25. That's correct. In the process of examining the patient, you gather the facts or get certain information from the patient himself or the defendant himself. Is that right? Yes. Now, the story that you heard, was that basically that he saw some sort of an image of a devil at the bar? Is that correct? Yes. And that he doesn't recall the events of running home. Is that correct? He recalls arriving home and being unable to open the door, I think finally forcing it. That's his next recollection. I believe that you indicated that he described this image vividly, and he even gave a description of the color of the image. Yes. Would you mind telling us how he described this devil image? One of his reports was that the image was a face, natural-sized face, nothing else, just a face, with a gray-green tint and tiny horns. The face said nothing but held a sheepish grin, and the mouth was not open, but it was just starting to smile. He didn't mention to you that it was a red devil with a forked tail? No, it was just a face. Let's see, your first interview would have been on January 25? Yes. Were you aware that Dr. Hunter had previously examined him on December 6 rather? Yes, I was. The day of the event? Yes. Now, when he talks to you, he tells you that he doesn't recall getting the gun and ammunition, does he not? When he talked to me, he denied any recollection of getting the gun. And he certainly didn't tell you that it was a 30-06 and he went up to an attic or unfinished room to locate the ammunition? No. Okay, and that concludes our 140 Q&A practice. Have a great day.